Hello everyone, and welcome to my review of Guild Wars 2. A friend of mine sent me a trial key for the free weekend, and today is the last day, and so I figured I'd record some of my comments and a little bit of gameplay to give some of you who, like me, are primarily FPS gamers an idea of how this game is a little different, and maybe whether or not you actually would want to spend the $60 on buying this game. Now, this is the start of character creation, and as you can see there's 5 different races. We have the Char, which is some kind of beast-like race. I have not played as anything other than human so far, and what I've seen of the Char, I don't think I've seen them in combat yet, but I have seen them running around, and it's kind of funny because they appear to run around on all fours, like a bear or a dog or something. And of course the human, which I guess have lost their homeland and are fighting for survival. The Norn, which I would believe are just big humans, or human-like in appearance, but are very large. And we have this little guy with floppy ears. I guess they're only about 2 or 3 feet tall, and they're kind of funny looking. And these are, I guess they're supposed to look like trees or something. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to go with human. You have your choice between male and female. It doesn't really matter. The differences in the gameplay are basically a few dialogue options here and there might be different, and of course the appearance is different, and that's it. All of the stats and the attacks and stuff I would believe are exactly the same. So this gives you an idea of what some of the armors might look like, but when you get into the game, you'll find that regardless of what you select here, that's not what your starting armor looks like. So while your first instinct might be to judge a class partially based on the appearance of the armor on the starting screen, like, oh hey, that armor looks really cool, or maybe that armor sucks, or I don't like the colors, or whatever. First off, you're not even going to be wearing this armor that you see on the character selection screen when you start the game, so it's a little misleading, and you get to customize the color scheme. And you can change it at any point throughout the game. So I guess that gives you an idea of what the male armor looks like, and this will give you an idea of, I don't know why it's selected Guardian by default. And once again, this is not what the armor is going to look like. I think the Warrior and the Guardian will be wearing the same armor when you start. The Engineer, the Ranger, and I would believe the Thief will all be wearing the same armor. The Elementalist, the Necromancer, and the Mesmer will all be wearing the same armor. And the armor that they actually wear is not what you're seeing on the character screen. I assume you can get this armor. Like, if you actually like what you're seeing on any of these, I assume you can get that armor somewhere in the game. But I have a level 12 character, and I haven't seen any of this armor yet. So I'm not actually sure where you get it. Now, I've played 12 levels as an Elementalist, and I was terrible at it. They seem to have problems with a lot of the enemies, really. They seem to have problems just staying alive in general, and I have a lot of trouble keeping them alive. Now, it's possible that I'm just terrible as a spellcaster. I played as a Ranger as well, and it wasn't too bad. You get a pet, and the pet will draw aggro. It'll run in, and the enemies will gather around it, and that gives you an opportunity to, well, I guess you start out with a throwing axe of some sort, so you usually are just throwing an axe at your enemies until you unlock newer attacks and abilities and such. Or get different weapons. I didn't really pay that much attention. I think I only played up to level 3 as the Ranger, so I'm not sure what all the Ranger could do. Now, I have not played as any of the other classes. The Mesmer sounds interesting, but it also sounds like it might require the most skill to play, so I probably shouldn't do that. The Necromancer summons dead, and something about blood energy. It sounds interesting. It does say that they can strengthen or heal themselves and others, so being a Necromancer might be interesting if you have trouble staying alive. So I think I'm going to go with that one this time, just to see what it's like. Now, they give you the option to change your character's height, so you can be a little shorter or a little taller. Whatever suits your fancy, I guess. And they give you options for physique, so if you want to be, you know, larger or smaller than the default. They give you options for the different faces as well. You don't, you do have sliders on your face details, but there are some features you can't change. And they do have more than one page, at least for human. Now that one kind of looks funny. I think I'm just going to go with that one. Of course, they have different hair. The face and hair options look like they're Japanese styled, so I mean, if you don't go for that kind of thing, they have some more Western styled haircuts, I guess. And some stranger stuff like that. You can go with like a mohawk or something. We're just going to go with something simple. We have various hair colors. You can even go with pink or something like that. Light blue. Doesn't really look blue. They have a lot of different shades of yellow. That does not look white to me. They have some orangey, yellowish, reddish. I don't know if any of the reds really look that great. We'll just go with that. Eye colors. Oh no, those are the accessories. I find it interesting that the character's armor is green. You can change various stuff about the eyes, including the color. Purple eyes, I guess. Different shades of blue. We're just gonna go with green. The nose, you can change the width. Oh, that's of the, okay. Mouth. You can make the mouth wider. You can make the lips bigger or smaller or whatever. See, you can make the chin longer, shorter. You can make the jaw wider. So they do give you a few customization options. I won't say they're as good as some other games, but what is wrong with her face? That's interesting. It doesn't show all of that paint on her face until you go there. Okay, so I didn't really think of clay as being greenish. You know, we're just going to go with all green. That looks fine. Okay, so this is, what is this? Some of these things that you select during the character creation change how the story mode works. And since I haven't done the Necromancer before, and I don't remember what order they all go in. So this is... oh, this is the mask. I have to admit that one looks kind of cool. That one just looks funny. Well, if that one helps keep you alive, I'll take it. Okay. Alright, this is where you select, or at least as the wiki says, how other characters react to you. What this really changes is certain dialogue options, where you can use charm, dignity, or ferocity to get your way through a conversation. We're just going to go with charm. A charming necromancer seems a bit of a contradiction. Now this changes your personal story a bit. This selects whether you were born in the streets and are essentially a poor person, whether you were raised by common folk, or whether you were raised among the nobility. I've played as poor in the streets, I've played as a commoner, I've not played as nobility yet. So we'll see what that's like. Now this changes your personal story a bit as well. One of my biggest regrets is that I've never searched for my true parents, I never recovered my sister's body, or I passed up an opportunity to perform in the circus. And this will change part of your personal story at some point. I haven't selected the first two. I always go with the circus one just because it's kind of funny. And so at some point you actually do get the opportunity to join the circus. And this, I think, changes something about your character, obviously, but I'm drawing a blank at the moment. It's kind of hard to tell from the descriptions. I assume this one gives you some kind of buff to your attack abilities or combat skills. I'm not really sure. This one may give you buffs to abilities that keep you alive. I have no clue. I'd have to check the wiki. Now we're just going to go with this one and see what happens. Okay, now I have to come up with a name. We're just going to do that because I can't use numbers in my name, which I find very annoying. Because I can't be GT500 unless I spell out 500. And it doesn't allow you to use names that are already taken by other players. So you have to come up with something new and unique. Ah. Well. I have a feeling that the word review is not permitted. We're just going to do that. Contains words or partial words that are not permitted. gotta be kidding me. Okay, so it was the single digits it didn't like.
The human race once ruled Tyria. Now, we struggle to hold our ground. We've been defeated, driven back, and broken. But we will not surrender. So many nations have fallen. Only Kryta still stands. Our faith is strong, despite the silence of the six gods. With courage, we'll make our stand in divinity's reach. The city is my home. I was born into luxury, a noble of divinity's reach, and privilege comes with responsibility. I protect the commoners under my care. They believe in me. I'm grateful for their trust, and I will not let them down. Today, I plan to venture beyond the gates of the city and see the world for myself. When I arrived in Shamor, I found the town under siege by centaurs. Innocent villagers are in danger. Someone has to help. I will show the people that we can triumph, that there is still hope. This is my story.
Okay. Wish the frame rate was a little better while recording here with Fraps. Hopefully it's just the rain and it'll get better later on. Now, initial impressions of the control scheme, since we're actually in the game now. For those of us who are used to first-person shooters or to RPGs, let me turn the volume down. Okay, that's better. Okay, for those of us who are used to first-person shooters or RPGs such as the ones made by Bethesda, Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim, etc., we're used to being able to look around with the mouse and aim with a crosshair of some sort, and in this game you can't do that. Left mouse is permanently bound to this. That's pan camera. So when you click and drag, it pans the camera around, and your character does not change which direction they're facing based on where the camera's looking. Right mouse is permanently bound to pan camera as well, but this time your character changes direction based on where they're facing. So it's kind of like mouse look, except you have to hold a mouse button down the entire time. I have not found anything at all in the options or in the controls to enable full-time mouse look, or to make it a toggle, for that matter. I've tried this free camera thing before. It prevents the camera from realigning behind your character. That's all it does. It doesn't... There's nothing to lock the camera to your character like in some of the other action RPGs or like in an FPS. So... I find it kind of annoying. Now you do have a key to look behind you. That's nifty if it weren't for the fact that you can do that whenever you want to anyway. I guess that's for the people who don't play like this, because this kind of game is designed for the kind of person who, when they're using their WASD, A and D are set to turn left and turn right instead of step left and step right. So you don't use the mouse to look around. You look around by turning left and turning right. And you just use the mouse to click on stuff. And obviously that's not how I play. So I move around like this because it most directly simulates what I'm used to. And I find the mouse bindings really annoying, or the fact that I can't bind what I want to the mouse. Because I always bind my right click to jump. And of course my left click is my primary attack. And there are some people out there who have made some scripts that allow you to rebind those buttons. So if it's a big issue, but you do decide you want to play this game, you can look for those scripts, and you can rebind your left and right mouse buttons. I guess for most people who play FPSs and RPGs like Bethesda's RPGs, you'd probably want to bind your right mouse button to something like your secondary attack, which you have 5 secondary attacks and a healing spell. So I guess you might want to bind that to your healing spell, since you'll be using that a lot. And since your other attacks are your number keys, since I use the arrow keys, it's a little inconvenient for me. So I just use the number pad. The number pad's not bound to anything by default, so I had to bind all of those myself. Now this does have dodge and roll. You can see this yellowish-orangish bar goes down when you do it. So you have this issue where you don't have enough energy. So you can, at least at level 1, maybe get a couple of rolls in combat to dodge an attack. But because this game uses a system where you lock onto your enemies, unfortunately it does lock on automatically when you hit an attack key. You don't have to click to lock on. Since the game does use lock-on, the only way to dodge an incoming attack is to roll. You can't just step to the side like you would in an FPS or in one of Bethesda's RPGs. So I find that a little annoying because that's how I'm used to playing, just doing this back and forth and moving around, maybe jumping, and that doesn't dodge attacks. You've got to do that. And since you have limited energy to do it with, you can get in trouble. Now I assume there's certain stats and stuff that you can put points into to give you more of this energy. Whatever they call that energy, it doesn't say there. Now you can press H to open up this, and you'll have equipable armor and weapons listed here that you can drag and drop into here. Right now I've got a dull hatchet. Got some frayed cloth armor. Being a spellcaster, this character is not going to be able to wear medium or heavy armor. They're only going to be able to wear light armor, and this is the default armor for all spellcasters. Shows you over here your base stats. As you level up, it'll show numbers in green to the left, and the numbers in white to the right. And I assume that the numbers in green are your actual stats, and the numbers to the right are what you're supposed to be at, or what they expect you to be at. Because with my Elementalist, the numbers on the right were all much larger than the numbers on the left, so obviously I was not doing something right. So if you want to get serious about this game, you probably shouldn't play the same way I do. Just a warning. I'm not entirely sure what all this is. Aqua Breather, I guess, lets you breathe underwater. Every character gets that automatically on character creation. A cracked harpoon. And I guess that unlocks at level 7. I'm not really sure how to switch to this harpoon thing. Okay, so up here we have, of course, the game menu, which you can also open by hitting Escape, and you can open the settings by pressing F11, and it tells you that at the top there. You have your contacts you can open with Y. You have your hero menu you can open with H. This has your skills and traits, which we don't have anything we can allocate yet. Story progression. No crafting discipline learned. That'll, I guess, show you information about your crafting disciplines. I'm not far enough to have unlocked that yet. And achievements. You have your inventory, which of course you can open and close with I. You start with a 20-slot backpack, and you can add bags or, I guess, other backpacks along the way. And they show up kind of down here, and you scroll down, which obviously I can't do yet. And you can change the size of this window, and you can drag it around the screen. I drag it over here so that I can have it open while I have the trading window open. It doesn't lay out quite as fluidly right now because I have the UI set on its largest size for those of you watching in like 360p or 480p on YouTube, since I'm recording in 1080p. Now this is the Black Lion Trading Company. The first, I guess you could say, tab here is the gem store, which is the premium currency, and supposedly there's a way to turn, I guess through the currency exchange, to turn your in-game currency into these gems, which you can then buy premium content with. Now on the home screen it shows you like their featured products, like these keys to open chests, dye packs, dye kits, and dyes allow you to change the color of your armor. And in case you're wondering if you can do that just on the fly whenever you want, there's a key right here. You can go in and you can start changing the color of everything. Well, pretty much everything. And if you don't like it, you can remove the dye. That does not appear to be working. We'll just dye it back green then. Okay. You also have town clothes you can wear, and you start off with, for female, obviously, this. And the store has, you know, other tabs and stuff. There's no promotional items right now, but you can get like an aviator's cap. And it changes the preview based on what kind of outfit it's for. These are for your town outfit. Your town clothes do not have any sort of armor abilities, so if you go into combat, it's supposed to automatically switch back to your armor. There is a bug where that doesn't necessarily always happen. Or at least I've heard that there is. Oh, and you can clear the preview up there by clicking that. I guess there's a cook's outfit. I'm not sure if that's new or something. It wasn't there yesterday. This is some kind of weird barbarian armor, I guess. You can be a pirate captain. That's kind of funny. So they have a few armor skins. They call that one profane. I'm not sure if it's any more profane than what the light armor starts out with. That's kind of funny looking. But anyway, you've got other things, consumables, services, etc., etc. Here's your currency exchange, if it loads. Okay, so you can trade gold and gems, and they give you an interesting chart, I guess, of the conversion rates. How much silver per gem, I guess. Average price for 100 gems, 71 silver. That's not bad. This is where you buy things from the trader. This is stuff that other people are selling, and you can search, like if you want to buy new dyes for your armor. You can find all sorts of dyes. They have 408 currently available on the trading posts being sold by other players. You'll find stuff like this. It has DYE in the name, but it's a staff, an exotic staff. I assume that's better than rare, but I have no idea. Different rarities, I assume, would make things more expensive. You can sort by price. So if you want the cheap stuff, There's one in here called Humiliation. This is essentially a pink dye. I think there are other shades of pink as well, but this one is kind of humorous just because of the name. Now, I don't think I have any currency to buy it with, so we're just going to ignore it for now. Of course, I can check and see. Yeah, no currency. This allows you to sell stuff. Obviously, my inventory's empty, so I can't show you that yet. I guess this is a list of transactions. I don't have any, so nothing to see. And when you sell things or buy things through the trading post, you have to actually go to a Black Lion Trading Company representative in-game and pick the stuff up. You can't pick it up anywhere. You can sell what you have anywhere, you can buy stuff anywhere, but you have to actually go to the trading post to pick up the money or the stuff that you bought. This is the mail, which you get messages for various things. And this is usually about a current quest or something you're doing or just did. This is a guild thing of some sort, which for those of us who are used to like FPSs, guilds are your equivalency of clans. I guess if you need hints, they have those as well. I've never actually clicked on that before. Maybe I should have. It probably would have told me how to play the game. Oh, and if you're doing the free trial, you get this lovely upgrade to full account thing that you can click. $60. You can pay via credit card or PayPal. It, I guess, automatically fills in the country. I personally don't think I'm going to be buying the full version of the game. If it was only $40, I might spring for it, but at $60, I'm not sure it's actually worth it, since I do have so many issues with the control system and constantly dying when I play a spellcaster. I usually, when I'm completing a story mission, my character is like missing pants or a shirt or whatever after the story mission's over because I've died so many times that the armor is broken. I'm not sure how I'm actually able to complete the missions after the armor has broken. You'd think that that would make it impossible for you to complete the mission, but apparently it doesn't. And unfortunately, if you do have problems and have to leave the mission, you can't pick up where you left off. The mission restarts when you re-enter it, which the only other MMO I've ever played is Star Trek Online. And in Star Trek Online, if you leave a mission, there are certain checkpoints along the way where you will restart at that checkpoint. So you don't have to lose all of your mission progress, but in this game you do lose it all if you leave the mission, which I consider a bit of a drawback. I can understand that it might be exploitable. Like if your armor's all broken, you leave the mission, get it repaired, come back in, and then you're starting with a fresh set of armor, basically. Or it's like starting with a fresh set. That might be considered an exploit, and maybe that's why they don't allow you to do that. But it would still be nice if you're having trouble beating a mission, and you're at the end boss or whatever, the final battle in the mission, and you're just having trouble with that one part. It'd be nice if you could back out and maybe get some different equipment or something and go back in and beat it at the point at which you left off rather than having to play the entire thing over again. That being said, let's go ahead and start this mission.
We can protect you at the end.
Run on down to the end here. Now I have to admit that the outfit for this particular, for the light armor that you start with, not just for this particular class, but for the Elementalist and the Mesmer as well. It seems to be specifically designed to look at the character's underwear while they're running. Now there are different outfits you can pick up along the way. If you don't like the skimpy outfits, they have ones that cover up a lot more than this. They have some pretty dorky pants too, which kind of look like some kind of baggy Arabian pants. They're kind of funny looking. And those are items you can craft with the tailoring skill, which I'll show you after the tutorial is done.
Sergeant, there are more centaurs on the other side of town. Captain Thackeray's calling for reinforcements at the garrison.
If he's calling for help, it must be serious. But I can't spare anyone.
I'll go. Captain Thackeray's never failed Divinity's Reach. If I can help him, I will.
Balthazar, bless you. That's the spirit that'll win this war. Good luck.
Now, in case you miss any of the dialogue, you can see that it shows up in the in-game chat here. And you can hit enter and scroll up if you missed something. And of course you can type in the chat as well if you want to chat with other people who are playing. I'm not sure if I should be helping kill this stuff. So like I said earlier, when I hit my attack key there, my number 1, it just automatically locks on to whatever's in front of me or closest to in front of me and starts attacking. Now one thing that's a little weird is if you look away, your character will stop attacking. So if you get too far off to the side of the screen, sometimes they'll just stop attacking. So when you're trying to kite an enemy, if they're one of the ones that runs up and tries to attack you with a sword or an axe or something, you can have problems with your character. Even though they're still on the screen, like they're on the side over here or over here, your character will stop shooting at them. And that can be rather annoying. I don't seem to be taking any damage. Does this heal me? Does not appear to. What does this do? Life force 8%. I have no idea what that means. Summon spectral claws to slash your foe in a quick flurry of strikes, gaining life force per strike. Is this life force? It's called health, not life force. Assume a spectral form and gain new skills, turning your life force into health. Oh, okay. So is this life force? It's at 100%. So I guess if I hit F1, I enable this Death Shroud thing. Let's see what it does. So if you're running low on health, I guess you can hit that. That's kind of nifty. Life Blast. Does 2 damages. Range of 900. Okay, so that does more damage the more life force you have. Interesting. Where was I told to go? This way. I've already forgotten. Fortunately, they do put a little green thing on the map down here. So you don't have to be completely in the dark about your next objective. And for anybody who's ever played the Dragon Knight Saga games, you know how annoying it is to not have a map marker. That was kind of funny. Okay, so I guess we didn't make it here in time to defend the bridge, so we're going to run in here and help defend the garrison.
Centaurs are in the garrison. Rally to Captain Thackeray.
And this is what they call an event, with the orange thing around it. And you get XP for doing events, and you'll find a lot of events around the area after you finish the tutorial mission. There does not appear to be any stuff for me to pick up, which probably means I'm not really doing that much damage. Once again, nothing to pick up. I wonder if it lets you pick stuff up during the tutorial. I don't actually remember. What is this? Holy Feast. Damage nearby foes. Retaliation from each foe you strike. Well, we'll try it. What does it do? Is that green thing retaliation? What was that green stuff? Damage 8x 48. Damage 2x 14. Well, we succeeded in the event. Contribution level gold. Didn't get any XP for that one because it's the tutorial, I guess. I don't know why, but at this point it zooms your character out, and you can't zoom in any farther than that. I don't know if it's because this enemy is so large it wants you to be able to actually see it. If you get in any trouble, you can run inside the shield here and regen your health. That doesn't mean you won't get attacked by these two things, but... Nice that it does pop up explanations for things too eventually. Even if you spend, 20 or 30 minutes running around, what does this do? And my apologies if you can't hear me over this hideous loud thing.
Where am I? What happened?
You were injured when the elemental exploded. Captain Thackeray brought you here personally. You've been unconscious for 3 days. You had lots of visitors. Villagers you rescued, some seraph, even a noble from the city. He came by several times.
That'd be Lord Farron. He's a good friend. I'll check in with him once I'm fully recovered. What should I do now?
Fresh air and exercise are the best medicine. The goddess Duena helped you. Perhaps you could help others?
Thanks, I will. And thanks for taking such good care of me.
Bless you. You'll find plenty to do out in the valley. May Duena protect you.
Okay, now it's letting us scroll in farther. Okay, so we get to select a reward. We can get a war horn. I have no clue what it does. And we can get a wooden focus. And I have no clue what it does. We can right-click and we can select preview to see what it looks like on our character. And it kind of hangs there until your character picks it up. That just kind of looks funny. They could have worked that into the outfit a little better. So, since I am using Steam, we can just do this. And we can close messages from people there. Don't need to see those. And if you ever have questions, there is an official wiki. Now let's see. One of them was a wooden focus. And the other one was a war horn. Now this may seem pretty cheap to look it up on the wiki to find out what it does, but considering the fact it doesn't tell you in-game what it does, unused, this doesn't say what it does either. Well, what does the focus do? Okay, for a necromancer it can give us these abilities. Send out a scythe that bounces between foes and allies, causes vulnerability on foes and regeneration on allies. That could be nice if you're trying to fulfill a support role and heal other people. Chill your foe and remove 3 boons. Okay. So for the necromancer, this Whale of Doom and a cone pattern dazing foes. I've not noticed any of the abilities that are supposed to daze or blind your foes having much of an effect, because they still run at you and attack you anyway. Now admittedly I have not tried this Whale of Doom thing, so maybe it's better. Gain swiftness and summon a swarm of locusts that cripple nearby foes. Well, that sounds interesting. We'll try that. Warhorn it is.
Ready for more.
This is gonna look weird. Now we drop it there to put it in the offhand, and it kind of looks funny there, but oh well. Now, as we can see on our map, our next mission objective is to talk to this guy.
Want to know what's going on?
The fields beyond Shaymore are Kryta's breadbasket. Since the Centaur attack, citizens are trying to rebuild their lives. But it's tough with bandits and dangerous wildlife roaming the area. Don't wait for an invitation. Jump in and help them.
Okay, so basically what he's showing us on the map here are locations where we can go
This is
and
a
we
waypoint.
can help people.
Waypoints appear on your compass, which is in the lower right corner of your screen. You can also see them on the world map, which you can access by pressing M. Press M again to close the world map. To teleport to a waypoint, open your world map and click on the waypoint to which you want to travel. If you wish to improve your skills, watch for special challenges. They'll test and teach you.
Okay, and these places that he marked on your map with hearts, you can go there and you can help people, and there will be events occasionally at those locations. When you help these people, you gain XP and karma. The karma you can use eventually to buy certain things. There are special karma armor sets and karma weapon sets. At a lower level, below level 35 or level 40, the only karma weapons and armor you can buy are out in the field at places like this. And one of these around here somewhere sells one piece of armor, and then there's another one down here, I think, that sells another piece. Or was it out here somewhere? It's somewhere around there. Basically, don't expect to get the entire set of armor right away. It's something that you have to actually put in time exploring and doing these, and you're not going to get the entire set probably until you're like level 15 or 20. Now you can get the coat and the pants by level 10 or something like that. I think you can get it by level 10, maybe level 8. And they're actually pretty good compared to the stuff you can buy from vendors especially, and compared to the stuff you start with. It may have roughly the same stats as the stuff you can craft, which I will show you as soon as we get up into the city. Also, he didn't mention it, but these locations, undiscovered vistas, there's one up around here as well. There's one, assuming this is the bridge, which I think it is, there's one around in this area. And there's a mountain here. maybe, with one on top of it. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, actually I think there's a vista right on top of this pipe. And these broken shield icons are equipment repairs. You can get your armor repaired. These are your trading posts where you go to visit the trader and pick up stuff that you've purchased, or pick up money from stuff you've sold. This, of course, is the home district. Every character, at least human character you start out with, this is their home district. Whether it's the noble or the poor person or the commoner, they're all from that district. So let's go ahead and close this. Oh, and you notice how this guy has a telescope kind of thing above his head? There's at least one other here on the map at the moment, and you'll find more of them along the way. I don't remember if there's any in this area, but I know there's one here called a scout. And there's one here, so it is marking those. You go up and talk to them, and they'll do essentially what this guy did that we were standing next to. Wherever that was. He's right here. They'll show you all of the places where you can help people, where you can get this XP and karma, and usually there's events in those areas as well that happen every now and then. There's also an event that happens right down here, for those of you who do play as human. Every now and then these rabbits bust out of here, or technically I guess the little boy lets them out, and they start eating the watermelons. There's 8 rabbits, you carry the 8 rabbits back and dump them in. You gain something like 300 XP. It's pretty easy. These are vendors you can buy food from.
Can I help you?
Watermelon, rabbit's feet. This rabbit died of natural causes. I'm not sure what the point of a rabbit's foot is. I guess that's one of those things you can sell to any of these vendors as well. I don't have any items on me to sell. Now this is what your trading post guy looks like. I think they all look exactly the same. There appears to be somebody sleeping here. These are skill trainers. You can't buy their skill books until you're level 11. Or at least you can't get the Elementalist one until you're level 11. There will be a book over the head of the trainer that you're supposed to go to.
Watch over you.
And requires level 11. So you cannot unlock your traits until level 11. Now for skill slots, these unlock with these little blue skill points as opposed to trait points. Now it's funny, she's wearing the Necromancer armor you saw on the character creation screen. But all Necromancers, Elementalists, and what was the other spellcaster? Mesmers start with this kind of armor. Well, this is interesting. Usually there's not a barricade in the middle of this, unless there's an event going on where bandits are setting up a barricade. So I find that a bit odd. Now we're about to discover a waypoint up here. And so it pops up that thing to let you know there's a waypoint there. Of course, unless you scroll back like that, it's kind of hard to see. Now by default it does show you the names of all of the non-player characters. So all of these people we see the names above are actual legitimate players playing the game with us. And that guy over there with the SM is in some kind of guild. The NPCs, it will show you the name if you hold your mouse over them, kind of like that, or if you look directly at them, or put them in the center of the screen. Now this one, we're in an area where we can help this farmer, Dia, or whatever her name is. Now we can talk to her and get an idea of what she needs, or we can just look over here. We can help her by watering corn, stomping worm mounds, feeding cattle, and defending the fields. So let's pick up a bucket of water. When we pick up a bucket of water, we'll notice that our skills change. We can drop the bucket, or we can throw water with the bucket. And so we can just water some plants here. And each time we water them, or at least the first time we water a plant, this little gold thing is supposed to go to the right a little bit to show that you did help. It does not seem to be advancing at the moment. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. And you'll usually find buckets of water all over this farm, because there's an event that happens here where bandits will come and try to burn the hay bales. So you'll find just random buckets of water laying around because people were trying to put out the fire. That must be a ranger. He's got a bow and he's got a bear, and the ranger by default gets a pet. So, if a pet is something you want in this game, consider ranger. Okay, so these worm mounds... When you go up and kick them, that thing pops out and tries to kill you. Now, feeding the cow, we can grab a bag of feed, which turns into hay in our hands, I guess, and we can run up and we can feed the cow, and now the cow loves us. It's a very happy cow. And go find another cow. And we can go kick some more mounds. Well, I guess we get some stuff here. We get 4 copper coins, even though the icon looks gold, they're copper. We get a tiny venom sac. So now we have stuff in our inventory. Oh, we have a leather bag, so we can drop it over there, and that expands our inventory. Oh, there's a worm mound here. We can flatten it, and we can kill the hatchling. And we're pretty close to completing this one. Just have a little bit more. Now you can see as we kill things, we slowly unlock the next ability in the list. So now we're at 33% instead of 25%. Oh, protect hay bales from bandits. There's an event.
Trust me. Grab a bucket and stand by.
Okay, we're gonna hit this. Oh, we're down. Okay, so this gives you an idea of what happens when you die. So we can fight back while we're laying on the ground waiting to die. And I'm defeated. And when you are finally defeated, if nobody bothers getting you up, we can... Is there anybody else in the... There's nobody else here. They're all up there. We can actually wait for somebody to come and get us up off the ground, or we can return to a waypoint. It looks like this person's going to be kind enough to get us off the ground. Unfortunately, it's a very slow process. And they're going to decide to go ahead and fight and die. So they're down now too. There are a few other people here, so hopefully they can pull this together. Otherwise, we have to actually spend money to res ourselves. 4 copper coins to go to a waypoint. And we do have 76, so that's not a huge burden. But it is something to consider. Every time you die, if there's no one around to pick you up, and you are not able to kill an enemy while you're down, then you do have to spend money to go to a waypoint. Now this person's resing us much faster. I don't know if it's because they're at a higher level, or if there's some other reason. Okay. Now you can see these guys are level 4, which is why I died so quickly. I'm only level 2. When you go up against higher level opponents, you really should expect to die. Looks like I did get a couple of kills here. Or at least I got items from kills. I don't know if that means they're necessarily my kills or not. There's someone who survived. And because killing bandits was part of the thing where we were helping the farmer, killing these bandits allowed us to complete that. These guys look like bandits, so I keep wanting to try to attack them. But you can see how much XP we got from that. That's kind of funny. I don't think I'd seen that before. It is absolutely hilarious the way the characters jump while they're running.
They'll keep coming, trust me. Grab a bucket and stand by.
I kind of like this thing where you get a little extra life. What the hell was that?
I thank you. My cows
Okay, so we
thank
just completed the
you.
event.
Everyone who eats beef and drinks milk thanks you.
296 XP. Gold contribution level. And we can only do the thing where we help the farmer once, but the event happens on, I guess, a regular basis, and you can come back through this area later if you need to level up more, and you can do the event again the next time it's running. The only issue with the events that I've seen is it's difficult to tell when they're actually happening. So you usually have no idea when an event is going to happen. Okay, so we're in an area with these two fishermen, and there's a bunch of hostile creatures in the area, and there's some eggs over here we can smash. The water looks pretty nice, I have to admit that. The graphics in this game are pretty good. There we go. Whale of Doom. Daze for 2 seconds. So let's try it. That's an egg. Hello. They don't seem to be too terribly concerned about the fact that I'm standing here destroying their eggs. Very docile creatures, until you attack them. Okay. Yeah, did the dazing thing even help? One annoying thing about being a spellcaster is since walking backwards is so slow, you can't keep your distance from what you're trying to attack. So that's something important to keep in mind if you're going to play as a spellcaster or as a ranger. You really need someone else with you to draw aggro, who can rush in and attack while you support from behind, where you're not in the direct line of fire or whatnot. Okay. Looks like all of the creatures are dead. There's more over here. They do respawn, so if you're having trouble finding them, just wait a moment. Walk around a bit. There seems to only be one here, but one is better than none. Now that guy is level 5, and he came over to give us a hand there. I don't know why he's destroying the eggs. If maybe he hasn't done this one yet. Or maybe he's just having fun destroying stuff. That jump is hilarious. I don't know anybody who puts their arms up in the air like that when they jump. Okay, so let's go destroy some more beasts. We're almost done with this one. So I guess it does kind of stun for a moment. It's not really a long stun, though. I guess it gets you off. It gets the enemy off of you temporarily. Now, that's one problem I do have with the hold right click to look around thing, is every now and then, I don't know if my finger slips or what, but I stop pressing the button down enough to trigger it. Let's go back over here. The enemies were easier. Okay, looks like we're done helping them. Now, an interesting thing about these people you help with the little golden hearts over their heads, you see this purple symbol here? Let's talk to them and browse their wares. That purple symbol is your karma, and we have 27 karma right now. That's only enough to buy a rotten egg, unfortunately. I'm not sure what a rotten egg does. But, you can also sell stuff to them. And sometimes they'll have, like, armor and stuff. This guy doesn't. Someone around here, I think, has one of the pieces of armor, but I don't remember who it is. There's a chart somewhere online that'll tell you. Now, one thing that I hadn't shown you yet, this bag of pinched goods. Every now and then you'll pick up a bag of goods or supplies or something like that. You can right-click and use, and we got rawhide leather out of that. If we get 2 of these, we can make a rawhide leather square or something like that that's usable in crafting. This is just junk. These we might be able to sell on the trading post. So let's take a look and see what they're going for right now. These tiny claws are going for 25 coppers a piece, but they're only worth 3. So we just go ahead and sell them. These are worth 3 and they're going for 11, so we just go ahead and sell them. And this we can't sell here. This is going for 14. So this is just an easy way to to get a little bit of money, because in these massively multiplayer online games, or at least in the ones that I've played, which is just Star Trek Online, usually you can make more money selling stuff on the trading thing where you're selling to other players or exchanging with other players than you can selling stuff back to vendors or other NPCs. Now, one thing I did forget to mention. After you do these things where you help people, you'll get a message, and you'll have some coins that you can take. So let's take all of that. And now, after all of that, we have 2 silvers and 86 coppers. Now, I'm not sure if 1 silver is 100 coppers. I'd have to look that up on the wiki. It says we still have mail. Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to go meet an old friend. And coins for pickup. We need to go pick up our profits from our sales. We can't do that here, so we need to go back to a trading post representative. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I've got a little clock here in the corner of my mini-map. That's not on by default. You have to turn that on in the options, but if you're somebody who, like me, has a tendency to play games for hours without looking at the time, it's kind of nice to have it on the screen. Even if it is in a little location like that where it's hard to see. Okay, so we talk to the trader, and we take all. That gives us any purchased items or profits from trades. So now we have 2 silvers and 31 coppers. Now I'm thinking I'm going to draw this review, I guess you could call it a review, to a close really soon here. So let's run up here real quick. Try to minimize the looking up her skirt, but I guess we could scroll back. We don't have to be that close. I do like the fact that you can look around while strafed, but once again, you have to hold that mouse button down while doing it. Now it is kind of nice that it does show you when you move into an area how many things you've discovered there. 2 waypoints, 0 points of interest, and none of those vistas. Now I'm going to show you what at least has been a graphical glitch in previous playthroughs of mine in this game. I didn't, because I was scrolled out so far, we didn't see it. But let's scroll back in real quick and run down. And that should be enough. Let's... There we go. I don't know if that's a known bug or not. It's just kind of funny. Of course, I've also seen in the Steam overlay, which obviously this is not a Steam game, so I'm running it with the Steam overlay, even though it's not a Steam game, it's not available on Steam. I just added it to Steam. And I've noticed that sometimes when you pop up the web browser, you can see the outline of your character moving through the Google homepage, which is kind of funny. It's not happening right now, but I have seen it in the past. If you're wondering where the weapon vendors are, they're up here. Now technically the graphics are a little nicer than what you're seeing here, but I had to drop a couple of the options in order to record. My frame rate right now is bouncing between 14 and 18 frames per second with fraps running. And if I hadn't dropped a couple of the options, it would be even worse than that. Now here's a weaponsmith and an armorsmith up here. And there's, up here you've got like a guild thing. Guild registrar, guild promoter. Got some stuff in here. Oh, Black Lion Trading. Now in here, you have a massive gate that takes you to other areas of the world. You also appear to have some armor vendors. Are these your Karma? Cultural Armorsmith Tier 1. This stuff requires level 35, but this armor should be a lot better than what you have. Defense 101. I'll probably never make it to that level, because I don't think I'm going to actually purchase the game. Once again, if it was $40 instead of $60, I might spring for it, but because of the issues with the controls and the spellcasters having issues staying alive, now maybe again it's just me being terrible at a spellcaster role, but here, I'm going to show you one of the vistas real quick, if I actually go the right way. You can see up on top of that, that is one of the vistas, and you can go up there and you can activate it. I think you get a little bit of XP when you do. We'll find out here shortly. They usually put these in places where you have to do a bit of jumping to get to them. And basically what a vista does is shows you a little bit of the area where the vista is. So normally you wouldn't be able to see this stuff from this angle. So this is kind of cool because it shows off a bit of the level in places you wouldn't normally be able to see. And it shows some of the detail that they put into it. So we got a little bit of XP, not much. You can also see where the texture doesn't quite line up there. That's kind of funny. Okay, so let's go back down this way. This big purple thing on the mini-map is this gateway here, which, if you talk to one of these little guys, this one specifically, they'll tell you where the gate goes and whether or not it's safe. It'll go to, I think this gateway is kind of part of a system of gates that connects 3 different, or 4 different, or maybe it's 5 different areas of the world. Now if we go down this portal thing, I probably should have gone through the other one, but you can see the entrance is up here, and you come down this bridge, and on this side, obviously there's a waypoint right up here. And up here we have... Is this our armor? We can learn our... yeah, an armor smith. We can learn armor smithing. We can learn something about gems, a master jeweler. You can make jewelry. Here's our tailor, and she will teach us how to be a tailor. And tailors make light armor, so you can craft yourself light armor. Now, if we look at the coat, it requires 1 vial of weak blood, which you can pick up just by killing enemies out in the field. I think usually bandits and stuff will drop this. Jute is a little harder to get. You can get the jute scraps from scrapping your armor, or salvaging your armor. If you pick up armor off of enemies in the field, you can salvage it and get stuff. If it's light armor, you can get the jute to make these jute things. You have to actually craft these over here, the jute tunic stuff, which requires 1 bolt of jute, 4 bolts of jute, stretched rawhide leather square, and 3 spools of jute thread. You can make the bolt of jute out of 2 jute scraps, which you can only get either off of the Black Lion trading thing, or by salvaging armor, or picking it up randomly off of bandits. I think it's like bandit scouts and stuff like that will drop it. And the stretched rawhide leather square is 2 of those rawhide leather sections that we have in our inventory. If I had 2 of these, I could go ahead and make one. That's what the icon looks like. Can we can get a preview. Okay, that's what it looks like. And I just closed the wrong thing. That was brilliant. Now the leggings, the mighty embroidered pants. We can get a preview of those. Those look kind of funny. The boots. Previews in the background. That's what the boots look like. Gloves. Preview. And that's what the gloves look like. And it doesn't always color the previews. Now, I don't think I had gloves on to begin with, so that's why the color's not coming through, because I haven't actually dyed my gloves yet. But that's basically a preview of what some of the stuff looks like, at least for the light armor. I don't know if we can preview the other stuff, because my character can't wear it. Yeah. So we can't preview that stuff on this character. There may be some other stuff around here. There are a lot of vendors around along the entranceway that sell like cotton candy and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that's actually useful for anything. There is a cooking profession, but I'm not sure what you use that stuff for. There is still an awful lot about this game that I just don't know. Now this guy can teach us weaponsmithing.
Everything you need.
And let's see what kind of stuff we can craft as a weaponsmith. Oh, I guess we can't craft anything until we learn the profession, so let's learn it.
May Lissa aid you.
And look at the stuff we can craft. Okay, so we can do axes and daggers and stuff. Now, I'm not sure what weapons the, obviously we've got this little axe thingy, but I'm not sure what other weapons the Necromancer can use, but once again, we can just check the wiki. And assuming we spell it right. Okay. Weapons. Two-handed, we can have a staff. And staffs, if I remember right, have the highest damage for spellcasters. But they assume ranged attacks. They have a range of like 1200 or something. Whatever 1200 is. I'm pretty sure it's not feet, because it's a lot closer than that. For the main hand, you can have scepter, axe, or dagger. For the offhand, you can have a focus, a warhorn, or a dagger. For aquatic stuff, you can have a spear or a trident. My character has a spear. Elementalists start with a trident. And which ones you choose depend on your personal preference, really. You can get an idea of what they do. And fortunately, they've got it set up so it goes straight to the Necromancer stuff. So for a Necromancer, you've got this grasp thing, send out a grasping hand that damages foes in a line and grants you life force. Now that sounds like a really useful thing for a Necromancer, or for a spellcaster in general. Mark of blood, etc., etc. So this is, the thing about a staff is we will lose the horn that we're using as a secondary weapon right now. But I highly recommend, if you're going to play Guild Wars 2, to have this wiki open either in the background or on another computer or in the Steam overlay if you like to play with Steam like I do. For those of you who want to play as a spellcaster, you need to find the the artificer, this person.
Greetings.
Deactivate weaponsmith. You can only have two crafting specialties at a time. Now, if you deactivate a crafting specialty and you decide later on that you want to reactivate it, you pick up where you left off. You don't lose any progress you made. There's like XP or something that you get during crafting, and 75 levels, I guess, that you can go through. So I have 0 out of 500 experience in this one, and 0 out of 75 levels, I guess. Now, these are our crafting components. These require wood planks, and we can get those fairly easily off of the trading thing.
How's it going?
Greenwood plank, and they are 31 coppers a piece, so they're not necessarily cheap. I think you can get these by going out and chopping down trees, though. And if you need to get the equipment to chop down trees, I guess I've got to close that. Go back out to these people. If you've got enough karma, you can buy that equipment from them, and you don't have to spend your copper at the vendors buying it from them. So we've got a scepter, a mighty crude scepter. It's definitely better than the dull hatchet that we have. We've got a focus, which is definitely better than the war horn we have. We have a staff. Once again, definitely better than the hatchet we have. Now, inscriptions, I think this is for higher level stuff that you use inscriptions for. I don't know if it's to give it special abilities or what. That increases condition damage. That increases power. And that increases vitality, which is obviously your health since it has a heart on it. So this is just an idea of what you can make here. Obviously, if you want to go with the axe or the dagger, I think you'd have to go with weaponsmithing rather than artificer or however the hell you say that. I think I'm going to call this at that. I don't think there's anything else that I can show you at this level. Not without leveling up a little bit more. And the story progression is fairly straightforward. One issue I have with the story progression in this game is that as you go through it, when you go from one story mission to the next, you are never high enough level to do the next story mission, and you have to go out and you have to do events, and you have to do these things, and you have to do everything you can to get XP to level up, and it's often more than one level. You usually have to go up 2 or 3 or 4 levels. On my other character, on my Elementalist, I had just gotten done with a mission that required me to be level 8, and I think the next mission required me to be level 14. No, I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry. It was level 10, and then level 14 for the one after that. So, sometimes you have to go up 4 levels or 3 levels or something to be able to do the next mission. And I often have problems even if I'm a higher level than the mission requires, or I'm a higher level than any of the enemies that I'll face in the mission. I still have trouble staying alive and completing the mission. So, I guess you have more purple gates. I hadn't noticed that there was a purple gate over here. Anyway, so I often have a lot of trouble staying alive. Now, it may just be me. You know, maybe I'm just really bad at a spellcaster, and maybe I shouldn't be playing them. And maybe I should have actually read more on the wiki before I started trying to play them about strategy and such. So, once again, if you do want to play this, I highly recommend you keep that wiki open in the background, or if you have like a laptop or another computer or a second monitor or something, have that wiki open somewhere so that you can consult it whenever you need it, because you're going to have a lot of questions while playing this. And one thing you learn pretty quickly in an MMO is that other players are not necessarily helpful. There are a few that are, but a lot of times they're just trolling you. So don't necessarily always believe what you see in chat. And with that, I think I'm going to call this a review, or a sort of review, playthrough kind of thing. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day.